videos in one day. Some may take this as bragging, but it's not. Well, actually, it kind of is, but I'm including you in this. I've been out here, kind of did it for my wife, but I had fun. They had a thing called Hops in the Hole in downtown Rogers City where it's like at Westminster Park. It's all fenced off. They've got all these different booths that represent microbreweries. You can see where I'm going. Um, she had more than I did. They sold you like the entrance fee, then you get like these little. They're actually little shot glasses, right? You get 6 with your ticket, so it's like 6 shots of beer, not excessive. You go around, you pick out, you get this, that, and the other thing, and enjoy yourself and talk and listen to music and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I've been drinking, but 6 shots of beer, and it ended at 4, so it's been like 3.5 hours. And what do you do afterwards? You go out and do some target shooting, because I'm dragging you into this. As archers, what do? We do archery stuff. We just sit here and we pile on the hours of practice in our craft. In this case, I've got bows to choose from, but I've picked my little Bear recurve here. And been shooting it beyond my 20-yard mark. I've got 10 yards marked out because I'll do 10 yards and 15 yards and then whatever. I won't even pay attention to it because, you're out in the woods, you're hitting wild boar or pine cones or deer, whatever. It's at different distances. And so you don't rely on sights, you rely on judging distance and getting that feeling for stuff. So long story short, I'm still a little buzzed, but not too much to operate a bow. So got kind of bored and gonna just sit here and I'm gonna just shag some arrows beyond my 20-yard mark, probably close to 25. And I'm hitting well within my 8-inch circle. And this last round, and I'm not saying I do this every time. I'll get usually 2 within to the exterior of the orange is 9 inches, but I'll usually get like 2 of them within the 8-inch circle and then the other one kind of close. But this last round, it's like one is just darn near dead center and the other ones are within 3 inches from dead center. And I'm thinking, just imagine the precision. It takes a while. You don't just sit here and shoot a bow and the arrow goes exactly where you want it to, because it takes a while developing your form, consistent release, and not having gold shyness, because sometimes you're overthinking it and you're subconsciously shooting in the wrong spot for whatever reason, but it comes together and instinctive, you're still aiming. I mean, I'm going to get into arguments over that, maybe, possibly, perhaps, but muscle memory over the course of practicing for who knows how many hours we practice, you develop a sense of where it's going, instinctive shooting, I believe. You're aiming, but you've practiced enough, so subconsciously, the orientation of the arrow in relation to the target, even though you're focusing on the target and the arrow is blurry, let's just say. This last round, I'm looking at it and pondering the precision, the amount of degrees that you can be off over the course of, let's say, 23 yards. It's well beyond 20 I was shooting. Not what I would shoot with my compound I had 5 pins on the sucker. I had it, up to 80 yards. But the precision it takes, the amount of angle to be off and still get within this circle here, it's amazing what people can do. Now this is where it gets into, I'm not bragging for me, I'm bragging for us. We're part of communities, there's this side and that side and the other side, but I'm proud that I'm in our community, the community of archers. We're special people. We're people that have strived to master a skill that has been around for 10,000 years. You know, I'm not casting shade on Compound Hunter. I enjoyed the heck out of getting that pin lined up, and I would take my arrows and I numbered them. You know, boom, boom, boom. Number 3 is not flying the same as the other one, so I'm going to strip the fletching off. I'm going to refletch it until they're all flying consistently, and sometimes the shaft might be a little different. And this arrow, no matter how much I fletch it, you know where I'm going with it. But to just take a stick and a bow and a string, you know, and arrows, wooden arrows, fletched nicely. My friend Warpath did these and sent them to me. Trading, I don't know. I probably traded them something for them. But the precision it takes for us, whether or not you're to the point where you can hit within the circle at 10 yards or you can hit within 20 yards, or greater archers than me at 40 yards, we're part of something. There's the left and the right, and then there's this color and that color and this and that, but there's archers and then there's everyone else. That's the group that I'm most proud to be in. You know, again, whether or not you're at 10 yards doing this or 50 yards doing this, which some of you very well could do. You could dog me at 3D shoots, whatever, and I could do better than other people, but when it gets down to it, we're all archers. Be proud of that. Now, me being me, I'm going to go off on a tangent. I love this little bow. I don't need anything else as far as traditional bows. I'll make more bows. I'll make elm bows and Osage bows. But I'll always appreciate this bow that I've had since I was a kid. And I might get in the argument saying this, and generally speaking, I don't. That it's just surface damage on this. I'm looking at this thing that I treasure, this old Bear Recurve Black Panther Hunter. And I traded it for something a long time ago, and there's a screw in there, screw hole. I don't know what was in there. Maybe they had sights or something. I don't know. And there's scuffs and dings. I'm going to refinish this thing. Even though I treasure it, I'm going to refinish it. And I'm not going to strip it all the way down to the fiberglass, because I've been doing some research, and whatever finish that Fred Bear put on this was made in the 70s. It's compatible if you scuff it up with 320 grit carefully all over. Whatever finishes this would be compatible with a modern finish. So I'm going to choose, and I saw professional traditional bow makers using this same finish to refinish a bow. Spray Max. And I'm going to use the 2-part. It's a urethane, but it's a 2-part within one single can, and it's got this super nozzle on it, so it sprays, as they say, as good as an airbrush. A matte finish, a matte clear coat, in 2-part urethane. I think it deserves it. It's got the wear and tear of years, and I think that this little bow deserves to be made as good as possible. I'm going to save, of course, my arrow pass. I like that just basic leather arrow pass. It doesn't have that much of a radius on the shelf, but it works, obviously. Yeah. I think I'm going to do that. Well, my friends, my fellow archers, sleep well tonight, and I appreciate that you've watched this video.